Well, hi there, good evening. It is great to see you. Welcome to the broadcast. You're watching EBN Prime Edition. You're in safe pair of hands. My name is Cynthia Nanjala. We've got quite a lot in store for you tonight, but let's take a look at stories making headlines.
I will myself be keen to serve the continent of Africa.
Opposition leader Raila Odinga announces his bid for AU chairperson position, says he's ready to serve Africa. Government pathologist Johansen Oduor reveals Shakahola exhumation to continue in March as DNA results set to be released next week. Fiery debate at the National Assembly as legislators take on the affordable housing bill. Well, you can watch us across our social media platforms on EBN TV. Also watch us live on our website at www.ebntv.co.ke. Let's get started. Now, opposition leader Raila Odinga has officially announced that he is ready to contest for the African Union Commission AUC chairperson job. Addressing the media on Thursday, Odinga stated that he had a myriad of consultations with his friends prior to the decision. Odinga has shared his discontentment over the appalling state of affairs in African countries, which ironically are rich in resources. While terming it a quote-unquote brain drain, Odinga said that he's displeased with how African youth are forced to cross borders to other continents under arduous conditions just to eke out a living.
But, I have been consulting widely among friends. As the general said, he is one of my closest friends on the continent. And I intimated to him that if there should be interest, I will myself be keen to serve the continent of Africa. Mainly because as a Pan-Africanist, I believe strongly that Africa is playing in a league that it should not play. That Africa deserves better. Africa is we can say, the cradle of humanoid species. The first human who walked on this earth was an African. And Africa is also the cradle of human civilization. The Africans started using steel and steelwares before any other human beings elsewhere started doing so. Africa is the richest continent on the planet Earth in terms of minerals and general raw materials.
We need to get AU to be what it should be. They are doing what they can do, because AU got me and two with sister and a brother to look at the situation of Tigray and the federal government of Ethiopia.
It was a heated moment in the National Assembly after members of Parliament from Kenya Kwanza and Azimio side clashed over the affordable housing bill. The bill, sponsored by Majority Leader Kimani Ichung'wah, has received backing from the pro-government members of Parliament, even as the opposition downplayed the housing project. The affordable housing bill seeks to anchor into law the housing levy that was declared unconstitutional by the Court of Appeal.
That housing is a devolved function. The bill merely mentions counties. It does not say anything much. The bill talks about, the only area where the bill is involving counties is where the Affordable Housing Board is formed. And in this board, Council of Governors is supposed to nominate one person into this board. That is the only area where counties are mentioned. On the allocation of funds, counties is not involved. There's nowhere where counties will be involved in implementing these projects.
I've always also said, Mr. Speaker, the appropriation of any money is done in this House. The oversight of any money allocated to the executive is done by this House. It is our responsibility, Mr. Speaker. We cannot run away from our responsibility. Just because we are lazy, we cannot oversight.
The Speaker, from the outset, the question one would want to ask, and to ask repeatedly, how on earth is this bill once, if it is passed and it becomes law, how is it going to contribute to the realization of the right under Article 43, 1B of the Constitution?
What greater opportunity, Honorable Speaker, than this housing agenda to raise money through the housing levy and through the housing fund to massively invest in infrastructural investments that will not only create an opportunity for millions of Kenyans to have affordable homes. Affordable homes, Honorable Speaker, as is required of us by Article 43 of our Constitution, but also homes with proper, and in the words, Honorable Speaker, of our Constitution, it says, with reasonable standards of sanitation.
Embakasi East Member of Parliament Babu Owino has called for the impeachment of the Energy Cabinet Secretary Davis Chirchir for failing to honor a Senate summon to give answers on the tragic gas explosion in Embakasi. Addressing the Senate Energy Committee Chairperson Wahome Wamatinga, Babu Owino faulted the Energy CS, saying his actions of defiance give room for his impeachment. The legislator blamed Chirchir for the negligence that led to the explosion, adding that he should have conducted a probe when the gas plant resumed operations, despite the Energy and Petroleum Regulatory Authority EPRA rejecting its licenses.
People passed on in Embakasi's constituency. The numbers have gone to around 10. The people who were injured, Chair, are over 300 in number with serious burns. And we know, Chair, that with the exposure of these burns, our people risk getting infections and losing water through dehydration, and we may end up losing more lives. And Chair, it is an insult under the doctrine of separation of powers, checks and balances, for a cabinet secretary not to obey the orders, the summons, the invitation given by this honorable Senate. And it is even a greater insult to you as the chair that if the cabinet secretary cannot listen to you as the chair, what about other members of parliament? What about other Kenyans? And therefore, Chair, the cabinet secretary for energy, Mr. David Chirchir, has proven to be an unreliable witness who, on the witness stand, should be impeached. When a witness is unreliable, then impeachment of a witness must always follow.
Right, elsewhere, on matters drinking water, we are taking clean drinking water to every household so that people can live longer and healthier and have sustained access to sufficient water supply, which will also keep children in school and accelerate the country's economic growth. Those were the words by President William Ruto. Now, President Ruto's remarks during the commissioning of the Ithanga water supply project that will serve more than 20,000 households in Gatanga constituency in Murang'a County.
Kazi ndio itaendelea. Ndio hii tumekujia. Nakumbuka nilisimama hapa na nikawaambia mpango ya hii maji. Leo mimi nimefurahi ya kwamba leo tumefikisha maji ambayo itasaidia watu wa hii lower side ya Gatanga, ambayo itaenda pia mpaka itasaidia kwa mapenzi ya Mungu watu wa pale Masinga, na vile vile watu wa upande hiyo, watu wa Yata. Hii maji ni ya muhimu kwa sababu ya mambo mawili. Tunataka hii maji iwafikishie nyumbani maji ya kukunywa, na vile vile ya muhimu tena iwapatie maji ya kufanya irrigation. Kwa sababu sehemu hii ni sehemu za zingine inakuwa na ukame. Si namna hiyo? Tukienda mbele lazima tushughulike, tuondoe njaa katika taifa letu. Na kuondoa njaa lazima tuwasaidie wakulima wetu watuzalishie chakula zaidi.
Ametimiza hajatimiza? Ni kiongozi wa ukweli si wa ukweli? Ni kiongozi wa kuaminiwa si wa kuaminiwa? Si maji mumedanganywa siku mingi? Sasa mwaka ujao mkienda kura, hakuna mtu atakuja kuomba kura hapa na mambo ya maji. Wale watu wakuja na mambo yao. Si ndio? Na sisi tumekuja hapa na rais na tunaenda pahali mingi kwa mambo ya maendeleo. Na unajua mambo ilikuwa imekwama. Rais alipata serikali imefilisika. Mulisikia nikisema pale Kasarani. Alikuta hata store hakuna, panya ametoroka, hakuna kitu ya kukula. Huyu rais amehangaika mwaka moja. Sasa ndio amerudisha maneno kwa laini, uchumi umeanza kufufuka. Mambo ya Eurobond imeenda mzuri. Mambo ya barabara inaenda mzuri. Sasa rais ako kazi. Mutaendelea kuunga yeye mkono? Mutaendelea kuunga yeye mkono? Na sisi kazi yetu ni kumshikilia na kumsaidia.
The exhumation of bodies in Shakahola Forest is set to resume next month. According to government pathologist Johansen Odwor, this will be the 5th phase of the exercise which shocked the nation. Odwor further stated that autopsies on 429 bodies have been conducted and DNA results are being awaited. The results for some of the bodies, 429 of them, exhumed from the Shakahola forest will be out next week, which will allow the release of the bodies to their families for burial.
We did what is called management of human remains according to the standards. Yeah, what we are doing actually after doing autopsy, after ensuring that all the evidence are collected, we were doing embalming. Embalming is placing a body in formalin so that now the tissues are fixed. Once they're fixed like that, they cannot deteriorate any further. And we put in the body bag and zip them. And all the bodies are like that, so they cannot even deteriorate any further. So even the fridges are not even required now. Even though we are using them, they are not required. We repair them, they are fine, but they are not required. This is a body which can even stay out for very, very many years without decomposing any further because of embalming.
Currently, we have a project that seeks to establish a reference mitochondrial genome database for the Kenyan population. And for the last 3 years, we've been collecting representative samples from all the ethnic communities or groups in Kenya, from all the geographical regions, which we have managed to do. We've also done sequencing of the mitochondrial genome that is representative of these communities in a bid to develop a reference database that can now be used by the investigators, like the people in government chemists.
Now, Abraham Mwangi Nguyo, the owner of the tanker that exploded in Embakasi's Mradi area on February 2nd, was on Thursday arraigned at the Milimani Law Courts. Following the court proceedings led by Senior Principal Magistrate Martha Nanzushi, authorities were granted a 14-day detention period to conclude their investigations. While Nguyo did not oppose the detention, he requested to be held at an alternate police station. He will now be held at the Capitol Hill Police Station for the said period. His case will be mentioned on February 28, 2024. Reports say that the gas explosion, which claimed around 7 lives and left over 250 others injured, was as a result of greed from the driver of the ill-fated truck and unscrupulous traders who are being sold gas illegally. Now, members from the Law Society of Kenya in the Rift Valley region, including those from Nakuru, have staged protests to condemn the Nakuru County leadership for allegedly defying a court order in the War Memorial Hospital land dispute case. Members of LSK are holding peaceful processions to ensure that court orders are followed and obeyed. They have been following closely the case pitting the Nakuru County government and the War Memorial Hospital that has elicited a heated debate in the public space.
So what we intend to do is engage in a protest march where we are going to cover at least we are going to get to the county government. We're also going to get to the county commander so that we are able to advocate and tell them that we are in disapproval of every action they have so far taken, particularly with regards to the matter involving War Memorial. Court orders were served upon him so that he ensures that the county askaris are taken out of the War Memorial precincts and that normalcy returns, because pending determination of that case, the court had directed that the management and operation to continue. The management and operations actually were taking off until they were raided, I think about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and the county askaris forcefully took over. So the directives were clear that the police, who is a law enforcement arm of the government, were supposed to take them from the precincts and allow the management to proceed, and these orders were not obeyed fully. Subsequently, he was summoned to court and he caused those askaris to be taken out. But then again, it appears as if there was some collusion where some alleged goons took over, and according to him, those orders did not direct him to take those goons, yet it is within his mandate and within his purview to do that. So far, there has been an attack against the judiciary to the point that it appears as if their orders are now suggestions and which can be taken or not taken by the government. And that is one issue that we take fault with, and that is the reason why we want to advocate for obedience of these court orders and respect of the courts as they are.
The rule of law must be respected. Irrespective of the national government, county government, the courts, Sharia must be respected, and that is what we are doing today. We are going to assert our position as advocate that the rule of law must be respected. We have seen that the court has issued orders, they have not been obeyed, so we cannot keep quiet, and that's why we are saying we are going to fight, because we swore the oath to respect the rule of law. So that's why we are saying let everybody, any stakeholder, be in the government, county government, to respect the rule of law.
At least 51 pupils from Kanaani Integrated Primary School in Athi River, Machakos County, were on Thursday rushed to a hospital after consuming poisonous wild fruits from a tree within the institution's premises. According to Machakos County Health Executive Daniel Yumbwa, the students exhibited signs of vomiting and severe abdominal pain, prompting samples to be collected from them for further investigations at the Kenya Medical Research Institute. He added that in accordance with safety guidelines, the tree will be destroyed to prevent such incidents from occurring in the future.
Ambulance, wengine tulisaidiwa na polisi waliokuwa karibu wakaletwa kwa hospitali. Kwa jumla tulipata wanafunzi 24 awamu ya kwanza ama banchi ya kwanza. Baadaye tukapata wanafunzi wengine wale walisafirishwa kwa ambulance zetu 27. Ningependa kusema kufikia sasa tulipata wanafunzi jumla ya 51.
The renovation of the Matulo Airport is expected to start soon to allow the airport to be used again. The Principal Secretary in the Ministry of Transport, Mohamed Dagara, and his internal security counterpart, Raymond Omolo, on a visit to the stadium have said that the renovation is expected to be completed before the Madaraka celebrations, which are to be held in Bungoma. The PS Omolo says that those who have occupied the land within the stadium will have to move to allow the project to continue. They have said the stadium will boost the economy of Bungoma County, asking residents to support the project.
So we were supposed to combine the compounds, huh? This and this.
This airstrip was put up and for some time it was functional, but if you look at the state of it, it cannot be used. The runway is completely gone. We don't have any fence to secure it. So we are trying to see into it that we make it functional, primarily ahead of the Madaraka Day celebrations, which will be hosted by Bungoma County. and then subsequently the airstrip will be used for commercial purposes to serve not just this county but this region of Western Kenya. As you can see, originally the land was in excess of 70 acres. There's a small portion of it that has been encroached on by the public, and we will be having an engagement with the public through the county government so that then we can get the entire piece for this airstrip to make economic sense, not just for the people of Bungoma, but for the people of this region and the country. So immediately we will set up the process of securing the land and also work on the landing surface together with a terminal that will host the various planes that will be used and people coming in from Nairobi and other parts of the country.
We are determined to face this out. First is to, this runway as is right now, it is not possible for any aircraft to land. So we must make sure that the runway is done, the taxiway is rehabilitated, and the apron can actually accommodate at least 3 aircrafts in place. Put up a windsock, talk with KCA eventually to put up a control tower and what have you. And plus, of course, the fencing that the PS has talked about. We are also going to go to second phase of this project, put up terminal buildings and open up this region. These are counties that are near borders of another country. It will just make sense to increase accessibility not only through roads but also through air, and eventually when we extend the SGR we will have almost all means of transport accessible.
The Women's Development Alliance has announced strategies to establish an election board for the alliance. During the annual members meeting, the chairperson of the Women's Development Alliance stated that the election process would commence soon, with the board setting conditions to facilitate the elections of the Women's Alliance nationwide. Rahab Muyu urged candidates for various positions to submit their documents, and the election process will begin at the county level before the national elections.
We constituted an election board and it was passed by AGM, which we have done, and the process starts 19th March. If you look at this constitution, it says 19th March would elections maendeleo. So everything was straightened by AGM and the election board was launched. And the election board, I'm sure you can see, have very many papers I'll be just mentioning, and I pass them to Katibu, is here. It is chaired by Commissioner Anne Wamba, and it is very clear, the letters, if you want to verify as media, appointment to Maiwo Elections Board, and she's appointed as the chair. Zibora Kitoni is the acting patron. Mama Phoebe is in the US, and she's appointed as a member. Justice Effie Owo, Lady Justice Effie Owo, is appointed as vice chair, although we may have changes due to our nature of work. Honorable Grace Mwewa, a Maendeleo chair for 15 years in Makueni, is appointed as a member, and one of us, Kuresha Mohammed, will be resigning, and she's there to join as a member because she'll deal with the matters of Maendeleo.
The chair has tried to hold the organization together. It is very important. Such an old, strong, big women organization, which is the grassroots organization that holds women together to guarantee women movement and mentorship of young women, can only stand together when leadership can agree. The chair has agreed. She has tried to hold the organization together. Whenever there are issues, she brings us together, and we have moved this far. We just celebrated 70 years existence of this organization. While we know other organizations come up and vanish and they get finished, but Maendeleo has been held together. Thank you, National Chair, for holding the organization together.
Now, Athletics Kenya has postponed the African Games trials scheduled for Friday and Saturday at Nyayo Stadium following the passing of Kelvin Kiptum. The Kenyan Athletics Federation made an announcement honoring Kiptum, who tragically passed away on Sunday, February 11, 2024, through a road accident. According to the presser that read, and I quote, the selection process for the team representing the country at the African Games, which will be held on 18th to 22nd March 2024 in Accra, Ghana, will be announced in due course, end of quote. Now, Kiptum, along with his coach, Gervais Hakizimana, a Rwandese national, passed away a few days after World Athletics confirmed his record-setting time of 2 hours and 35 seconds achieved at the Bank of America Chicago Marathon on October 8, 2023. This is where we wrap our bulletin tonight. Thank you so much for your wonderful company. Do join Consolata Chibalonza tomorrow morning on 8 a.m. It is Friday, so the drift will be here. They'll be unpacking all trending topics over the week, what you need to know about what happened on Valentine's and what did not. So that and much more on the morning broadcast on the drift from 7 to 8:30 a.m. But for now, I'm Cynthia Nanjala. Enjoy the rest of your viewing.